What would be the perfect daily diet of these chemicals? I'll do an example in a career context, but you could think of examples for any context in your life. So, what would be a good way to get my dopamine in daily life? We said set realistic goals for yourself, but 3 goals a day: a short run goal, medium goal, long run goal. So, short run goal is something that I know I can get done today. And my favorite way of doing this is whatever is worrying me, bothering me, that's a difficult challenge, I'm going to do that the first thing in the morning so that I don't do it like at night when I'm already worn out and then it triggers lots of cortisol. And then if I have another huge challenge, save it till tomorrow morning and only try to chew off one big difficult problem every day. And then by the end of the week, you'll have tackled 5 big difficult problems without overstressing yourself. And then you get that dopamine of like, wow, I took that big daily step. And then you have your long-term reward and you're spending 5 or 10 minutes a day on your long-term thing, and then have a medium-term thing in your life and make sure that is something that you've defined in a way that it's meaningful to you rather than just like a should. And then you've broken it down into steps that are within your control rather than blaming someone else for why you're not doing it. And then make the steps small enough that you can get that sense of excitement that you've done it. Now, having said that, it doesn't have to be quantified. I know that most coaches are absolutely stuck on this thing that things need to be quantified. And that's valuable if you're a person who may happen to cheat yourself. But if you're not, like, I never quantify what I do because I know that finding a better way to say something in the long run is going to spread my message more than how many people did I talk to today. So in your case, you may say, experimenting with 3 new sales methods, even if they work more slowly, is going to be more effective for me than pure quantity. And I'll give you a great example of that in the athletic training world has experimented with a lot of these techniques. If an athlete keeps doing the same workout, they get good numbers because that's what their muscles are already used to, but then they don't train a variety of muscles. Once you try a new type of activity, you're no longer, quote unquote, good at it. So like if a basketball star says, I'm going to play tennis, they're not going to be good at it. So have the vulnerability to do something new that you're not good at, but you're building new muscles. So find a way to apply that in your workday. Now, oxytocin. So once again, we've had this idealized notion that you have this fabulous team and we all love each other and work together and support each other. And that's nice. But now, what are some things that can go wrong with it? Well, one is if you have a new idea or insight that they poo-poo it because all of their careers are built on this old method. So if you perceive opportunity in a new method, then you get negative feedback and you don't try it. So if you absolutely can't survive without that support group, then you're not going to experiment with new opportunity. So you need to make decisions about sort of spreading your support network in various ways. Another problem with this oxytocin simplistic approach is they pat you on the back and tell you what you want to hear, but they don't give you realistic feedback. So you don't really learn some things that maybe you should be learning. And then inversely, you could say that you may be trying to be helpful by giving them realistic feedback and they're resenting you for it. So groups are never easy. If you get this idea when you see a herd of animals that they have all this peace and love, absolutely not true. They have constant friction. And any group in human history, when you get the inside story, when you visit them or read their history, you're like, whoa, mammals have a lot of conflict. So instead of feeling frustrated about your group and thinking that if you quit your job, you're going to find a better culture in another company, I did that all through my 20s, so I certainly sympathize with anyone who wants to do that. But I have not found a perfect group of human mammals, so we really have to accept the fact that my brain is built by my experience and your brain is built by your experience, and just find the good in our fellow mammals and breathe deep about the stuff we don't agree with. Finally, serotonin. So, of course, we have these quantitative goals, and maybe the quantitative goal is related to money, and then the money is not just for itself, but you have certain things in your mind that you connect what you will get if you earn that amount of money. And whatever your serotonin feeling is based on, it's only going to turn on in short spurts. And then you get that promotion, it makes you feel good for a few weeks, and then it doesn't stimulate your serotonin anymore unless you maybe talk to someone at the bottom. Aha, I'm so-and-so, do you know who I am? And so this is the way the mammal brain works. So first, how to get it. So first, be aware of how you're already getting it. And the simple example I use is cliche, is like if you have a mother who calls you up and tells you about the cousin who's always doing better than you, and then you get frustrated about that, just know that that's just a pathway in your brain, and that if you had what your cousin had, it wouldn't make you happy. Your cousin is paying a price to have what they have, and you've chosen not to pay that price because you have a different reward structure in your brain. So you can get excited about the reward structure that you're pursuing. Give yourself some good feelings in the short run. Now, if you are in a career situation where, let's just say hypothetically, it's really miserable, but I need to stick it out for a year or two for some very concrete reason, and it's happened to me, happens to everyone, then give yourself something outside of your work life that boosts you. And make sure that it boosts you. Don't, like, my husband was going to learn to play the piano, and then he was always frustrated at the piano. Or person wants to play golf, but they're always frustrated playing golf. So you really have to experiment until you find something that truly boosts you. And even in your work life, you can break down your work tasks and say, okay, these are the ones I love. These are the ones that make me feel awful. These are the ones that make me feel good. And slowly find ways, even 5% a month, to expand the ones that make me feel good and shrink the ones that make me feel bad, so that a year or two from now, you'll have a better situation.